Hi guys, I'm Allie.
And I'm Amy.
And this is our podcast. We go by Picture His Purpose. And we're just going to do a little introduction. This is our first time filming, so if there's anything that goes wrong, just bear with us.
You mean this is
actually our third time filming. Yeah, let's not lie. But this is our first time, fully in front of a camera. We have everything worked out, hopefully. We might have to do an intermission if anything goes wrong. But just bear with us for this, because we're learning how to do a podcast. We went into this blindly. But yeah, we're just kind of here. We're hoping that whoever's here with us, you guys kind of get a sense of, community. If you're a photographer, you're kind of working with us. That didn't make any sense. I'm going to probably clip that.
No, you're good.
Okay. If you're a photographer and you're here watching this, our hope is that you can kind of gain a little bit of tips or, a little confidence in who you are in your business, because it is a competitive field and there's definitely a sense of feeling not feeling confident.
Yeah, gaining a community within people online. I know we can't be there for every person that needs a community, but hopefully just being able to watch someone that's a part of what you want to be and what you want to do is a good little...
Exactly. See, we work so well together. But yeah, we just hope you can get a sense of community, or two people who have your back even though you may not know us. And if you're just here as a friend or a past couple, we just hope that you enjoy hanging out with us and get to learn a little bit more of the behind the scenes of everything we went through to make sure your wedding day went so smoothly. And our hope is for all of our past clients that we've grown a lot, and we're just thankful for you all giving us the chance to work with you, because it means a lot. We wouldn't be here today if it weren't for your support. So
yeah, and obviously there's going to be a few more topics besides just photography stuff. So even if you're not a photographer or not a wedding vendor, I feel like this is still a great place to be, because we're going to talk a little bit about our faith, our relationships, friendships, husbands, everything.
All things. All things. I think it's just a good place for us Christian girlies, or even Christian guys who have been grooms of our weddings, or who have been have dealt with us, or who just kind of, maybe you're a husband who wants to support your wife who's in photography. I think this will be a good place for us to kind of give you some tips on how to support your person. But I'm going to plug this in and we'll be right back with you.
Now we have a little bloopers section.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're back. Sorry about that. It turns out I just hit a wrong button. But without further ado, I think we're just good to get into the introduction. This is just a fun place for us all to kind of hang out. Yeah. It doesn't need to be anything too crazy. I don't want you guys to think we're going to be super serious. There's going to be some podcasts where we are super serious, diving into faith, diving into photography. But today's just a fun little introduction about who I am, who Amy is, how we met each other, and some other fun details. I'll let you do the introduction and what we're going over today.
Perfect. So I think we're just going to start a little bit of why we're photographers.
You do your thing. You're good.
So since Allie's mic is kind of charging up, I guess I'll start.
Yeah.
So I became a photographer at 18. I got my first camera. I was babysitting for my sister, so I exchanged babysitting for her camera, and then I was just doing stupid little shoots with my friends. You know how it is. You're like, oh my gosh, I got a camera, I know what I'm doing, and you have no idea what you're doing. It was the worst photos ever came from that time. We did a photo shoot with hot Cheetos at some point. That also tells you a little bit of my taste. I really love snacking.
Same.
It's an issue. But yeah, so I started at 18 and then I dropped it very quickly afterwards. Some people were pushing me to go into it, and I just didn't find a purpose in it at that point. And then I had my first daughter, and right before I gave birth, I was like, I want to take photos of my daughter. So I got another camera, because at that point I had no idea where the first one is. I'm not going to lie. So I got another camera. I got the cheapest 50 millimeter lens, and I started photography for other people and then for my daughter.
But we love our nifty 50s. So
we love our nifty 50s.
We will put that out there. If you're a photographer starting out, please, it's $125 as soon as you can afford one.
They're cheaper.
They're
$100 now.
Well, I missed out on a great opportunity, but anyways, do yourself a favor and just go with a nifty 50. While that base package lens that your camera comes with is great, it's a game changer. I still use it to this day. We'll get into that later, but yeah, Sorry.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, how'd you get into photography? Because I know I heard a little bit of it before, so.
Ooh, okay. So I got into photography. I thought it was my parents, but I was thinking back on it. My grandparents got me a point and shoot camera, like a little. I think there's a picture of me with holding it somewhere. But I had this little point and shoot camera, and I was adopted, and so my parents, it was really important for them to take pictures, catching up on like all the time they missed with me because I was 10 when I was adopted. And so my grandparents got me a point and shoot. And I took that thing everywhere. I think I literally have pictures of my grandpa like laying like this, snoring on that thing. There was just videos of me like doing little YouTube moments. I really thought I was on one. But yeah, so I did that. And then comes around high school, to make the long story short, I needed an extra credit. And I didn't want to take a serious class because I had no clue what I wanted to do. And I joined Photography 101. Thinking that I was going to learn how to use a camera, but it should have been properly labeled Photoshop 101. So, yeah, I bought a whole DSLR for this thing, excited to learn how to use my camera, and then they just basically taught us on Photoshop. We did take a few film photos. That was pretty cool to learn about, but yeah, I did that. Then I ended up putting it down, and then COVID came around, and my mic died again. I'm going to scream with this mic. COVID came around, and my now husband, I was really just like bored. And he mentioned that I had a camera sitting in a closet. And he was like, why don't you pull it out and give it another try? And so here we are. 2 years later. And yeah, I'm found a forever best friend who also does photography, and I'm taking pictures. But yeah, I rocked it hard with that like base package lens. I rocked that thing so hard. And then I finally got the 50, and I was like, game changer. I thought, oh, honey, I thought I was the one. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we can go in from here a little bit at how we found each other. So we love telling people that I stole her first wedding client, which is kind of true. I didn't know at the time that she was talking with this particular wedding client, and then they ended up inquiring with me. And I had been in photography about a year and a half at this point.
Yeah.
So they went with me instead of her. I'm so sorry.
Oh, girl, you're fine. You're fine. We've grown. I mean, here we are on a couch next to each other. So
yeah,
I'd say we made it pretty far.
I mean, our husbands are actually friends long before we were.
Yes, they went to high school together. I think since elementary school. I don't know when your husband joined, but my husband's been there since elementary school.
Probably.
But yeah, they grew up together. They've been besties. And then
the way that guys are besties, though, they never talk about each other. They don't talk anymore, but then they'll text each other like, hey, are you alive? Like once a year.
Yes, it's literally like once a year. And so I actually connected with Amy because I was sending out wedding invites, and we sent them to her husband, and we didn't hear back. And I was like, hey, like, is your husband going to RSVP? Are you guys coming? And Amy's like, how do you know my husband? And then we just connected from there. And then I started asking you some tips. And if there's anyone you ever need to ask tips, this is your girl.
Don't.
I would love to give tips, but I feel like I'm still learning. And now that kind of I've been further along, I don't know if you grow more confident with giving people tips, but I've always was like, oh, I hope nobody asks me for tips because I don't feel confident in my work.
It depends on the situation. Like, I feel like if someone's randomly asking me on a wedding day, it feels so awkward. I'm like, I'm just here to take pictures. I don't want to explain how I do this.
Exactly.
Because I will feel so stupid because sometimes I'm just winging it on a wedding day. Sometimes I'm sitting there like, I have no idea why I'm taking my flash out at this particular angle, but it just feels right. And then I look at the back of the camera and I'm like, this photograph's okay, but I don't know the why. So don't ask me.
I click settings until it looks right, if I'm being completely honest. But after like 2 years now, I can kind of be like, okay, well, this is what you need to adjust. You need to bring this up. You need to bring this down. But when I first started, I was like, I mean, it looks good in the LCD monitor, so I'm guessing it's going to look good when it's out. And I just got lucky. Like I will say, like, high school definitely helped with that. I kind of knew a little bit about what was going on, but I get so nervous. And then it's always the uncle with the camcorder that happens to take pictures at weddings.
Yes.
And they're like,
the kit lens.
Yep. And they're like, can you show me how to take this picture? And I'm like, I would love to, but I don't know what I'm looking at in your hands.
No, because I had one guy hand me off his little dinky DSLR with a kit lens and asked me to take a photo of him and the wedding couple.
Oh, honey.
And I was so nervous. I mean, I did it with my own camera too, but this guy was just like asking asking me to take it with his camera, and I was like, I have not used one of these in years.
And I
was fumbling.
Oh yeah, and I will say sometimes those kit lenses look more expensive than the one I have. So like if someone came up to me with that, I'd be like, this is a big lens. I don't know what to do. But the bigger the lens does not mean the better the quality. So I will put that out there as someone who lugs around with the base 50 mil. That thing is tiny. And I see these people with these big lenses and I'm like, I am so screwed. But yeah, so that's how we kind of found each other. Amy, I'm going to let you go in what your thoughts are for the purpose of our podcast.
Okay, so honestly, Ali kind of came up with this podcast and I was just down with it. I kind of always thought of, so I do make videos on TikTok occasionally about my faith. So I've always been down with sharing my faith. And when she was like, I want something to share our faith and our photography and our friendship, I was pretty down with it. I was a little nervous. But honestly, I think that our purpose here is just we found a community that no one else that we've come to has experienced or that we've found anyone else. And we just want to share a little bit of that community. It's just been so good to find each other, to find tips, to find faith in each other. I think we grew so much in faith around each other. And that's been such a big like game changer in my life. Like I don't think I've studied the Bible like this before I met you. So it's just nice to find someone who's just so encouraging in faith, in photography, in friendship, and in just like everything that I prayed for in a friend I found in Ali. And it was just a game changer. I mean, there's so much stuff in my life that I was like, I wish I could talk to a friend about this. And like, yeah, I wish I would have found Ali sooner, but I think we met each other at the exact right moment in our life. We needed each other here at this point.
Amen. I will say amen to that. Oh my gosh, you're going to make me cry. I can't with you. But yeah, I definitely, so it was my idea. but I was sitting down and I was like, Amy and I have such a deep connection and conversation about all things business, all things Bible, all things friendship. And from two people who kind of like have come from the same kind of friendships and same like drive to like be strong in our faith as well as photography, like I feel like we have the same drive to work with our couples and like connect with our couples. I was like, you and I have some intense conversations on my couch. Like we should totally put this on a podcast. And she's like, I mean, yeah, sure. I'm down for whatever. Pretty sure she said it like that.
It's like every single conversation.
Seriously.
You suggest something, I'm like, I'm down.
Yeah, she's always down. But yeah, so I was just like, let's do this. Like, I know I was kind of joking, but seriously, why don't we just give it a try? If this doesn't work out, then it's just a really good memory for us that we can show our kids. But yeah, for me, the biggest thing about this is I don't want to say that I'm like amazing at photography. There's always room to grow. It's such a saturated market, but there's still such a variety of things to do in this market. And so for me, I always struggled to like reach out to people. I honestly I was just talking to Amy about this earlier today. Like I would have questions and my husband would be like, why don't you talk to Amy? And I'm like, no, that you don't break that rule. It's like, but I don't know. I just felt like there's so much room to give advice as well. And so for me, I just really wanted a place where people who are scared to connect with other photographers in their area to like know there's people out there for you. Send that Instagram, send that DM.
I would never have been friends with Ali if she wasn't bold enough to send me a DM. Like
seriously, send that DM, send that text. If you have a photographer who took pictures for you, be like, hey, like I'm starting out. Like the thing is you have to be willing to like not be
you have to
aggressive.
be willing to be uncomfortable.
Yeah,
there's going to be a lot of photographers who will be like, no.
Yeah, there will be. And I had a few of those. Like I've had some people who tried to charge me to spend time with them over something as simple as like, hey, I reached out and I was like, I'm trying to learn posing, and they wanted to charge me like $100 to spend 30 minutes with them. And I just had to take that loss and find another person who was willing to work with me. But there are groups out there on Facebook. Just be like, hey, even your local town page. You be like, hey, photographer learning to get some experience, looking for other photographers who are willing to let me tag along. Trust me, there are people out there who are willing to work with you because there's such a sense of wanting to build a community in this business. And I feel like I just want that to be known. And I just want people to feel like they have two girls that they can kind of go to for advice, for friendship, for all things faith as well. That's the most important thing for me. Like, it feels like there's such a thing of saying like, oh, I am a Christian photographer. And then there's no sense of community in that. And we want to build that sense of community for you guys. I'm going to charge this a little bit, but I'll let you chat.
No, I mean, I get the thing with community. I feel like everyone says, like, we have a community of photographers we could reach out to. And then you look at that community and there's just like no genuine closeness in it. Like, you know, photographers, but you don't know them as friends or as people. Like, you know them as photographers and that's it. So I think it's so good to have someone who's just like, you can genuinely be close to them. And when you say like, I know this photographer and I can recommend them to you, you know them like from the heart, and you know that they'll show up with like the most genuine, like passion for your day. It's just so good. And I know we had like a little bit of a discussion of like why faith is so important in our business. So I think Allie went into it a little bit about how we see these photographers who are talking about how they're Christian photographers, and it's almost like they use the name of Christ for a gain because they know that like mentioning that they're Christian will get them their church to reach out to them and take photos with communities within their church. And it's just like this fake persona because you'll meet them in person or you'll book a session with them and you'll experience how they run their business, and you're like, wow, this is not the biblical work ethic that I've been reading about. Like, wow, this is not a Christian person that I've been reading about.
And I'm really excited because it's not going to be in today's podcast, but we are going to talk about the importance of biblical work ethic in one of our next podcasts. But yeah, definitely that was a big thing for me. I sat with Amy and I was like, I think something we really need to talk about is the fact that people slap on the word Christian photographer or put child of God in their bio. And it's just so disheartening because you don't see them putting that into there. And that's not to say that like, oh, you're like, we're not trying to rag on you. If you are someone hearing this and kind of take offense, it's not meant in that way. It's more like we wish there was more of a sense of community in faith-based businesses more than like just throwing it out there.
And this stretches outside of photography too. I've met so many amazing Christian business owners. Like I'm coming from a family of 9, and many of my family are Christian business owners, and you can just tell in their heart by the way that they treat you, by the things that they help you out with, just how genuine they are in like an actual Christian community business. And I've seen other Christian businesses that they're like a slap in the face walking in, like it's not a Christian business.
It's just it's difficult because I feel like in order to put your faith on the forefront of your business, it's important as a Christian and someone who's trying to bring your faith to others to bring them closer to God, which is our calling as a Christian. I just think it's so important that you enact that in your business as well. And honestly, your everyday life practice. And I am in no way saying I'm perfect with that. I'm still learning. I've had my fallout with my Christianity and my faith, and I'm at the beginning forefront of rebuilding my faith. And truthfully, without Amy, I don't think I would have rebuilt that faith in the way that I have. I'm sorry, no cry. No, but she's brought me so much closer to my faith, and the reason why I believe in God, and I believe that we were sent here for a purpose to draw people closer to Him. And what better way to do that than through your business? But you can't do that by just putting Christian photographer or putting child of God or like wife and Christian in your bio. You need to like it's something as simple as praying over your couples each time that you like book them and thanking my thing died. Sorry, my thing died. Praying over your couples each time that you book them, or like making sure that like one thing, and we'll get into that into another podcast. I don't want to get into it too much in this one, but basically, it's important that as us Christians, if you're putting that in your like everyday practice and you're advertising that in your practice, we need to be sure that we are also showing that our faith is a strong support system for our couples, for our families who book us. And we want them to know that they are in our community of faith when they book with us. That's not to say that you can't book people who aren't Christian or anything like that. But you can use that opportunity to draw them closer to the Lord as well.
I can't wait to edit out these ums.
I know, I say so much. But yeah, definitely use that opportunity to grow them closer to the Lord if they're not technically a faith-based couple or a faith-based family. You can definitely take your chance to enact a faith-based relationship with them and approach. Yes. And you don't have to be all like hum ho, like Christian, God, but if that's what you want to do, then go for it. I'm serious. Go head first into it. But it's important that if you're going to advertise that, definitely like show who we are as Christians. Build that like comfortability with your couples. Let them know that, hey, like we're Christians. This is our business. And like, this is what you mean to us. And this is what you mean to God. And we'd love to have you be part of this. Sorry, I'll give you your mic.
Yeah. And there's no, like, this isn't saying that us, just because we're speaking out on it, we're more holy in any way.
Oh, not at all.
We are so broken and at fault. Like, I've been having, like, it's just genuinely just an outcry from my heart. Like, I think I might actually cry. No,
you're okay.
Because like, girl, it's so hard to claim you're a Christian and then come out on the internet and say you're a Christian. But we all know that we have a struggle behind a closed door, and that's never going to be something that I think we're going to be completely honest about, because everyone struggles, and that's not something that you necessarily have to share. But it's just so good to have a community behind that.
Definitely. And for me, when I'm saying all this is coming from a place of what I'm striving to do. I'm not saying this is what I am currently doing, but more so like, this is what I want to do. This is my goal with my business and building a faith-based business. And these are the things I personally want to work on. And I would love to see you guys working on that as well with us, honestly. I just would love to see us all grow such a good community of faith in our businesses, but also in our daily lives and our friendship groups. And I think that's a lot of things I need to work on as well. I am in no way perfect, and God made us imperfectly perfect. So, yes.
Okay, so yeah. Speaking of faith.
Sorry.
No, we're good. Speaking of faith, let's just dive right in. I know we just did a Bible study right before this, so let's talk a little bit about our Bibles and our Bible study methods, because I really love this. I think I got more into Bible studying as I grew with Allie, and we exchanged Bibles and different highlighters and sticky notes. Like, we're in love with studying the Bible together. And honestly, I don't think that I would be studying as hard as I do without you in my life. Because like, I never thought that I could find a friend that encourages me in faith like this.
And she keeps me honest. I'll put that out there. She keeps me honest with my studies. So, and I just see her working so hard, and I'm like, I want that for me too.
Hey, I'm completely honest with her. She'll call me and I'll be like, I did not Bible study today, and I should have.
We did like a 30 days of Proverbs, or 31 days of Proverbs, it's 30. I'm sorry. There's only 30 books of Proverbs.
31.
31. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. See, I'm not perfect. But, yeah, we did that, and I was like, I promise I'm going to work on reading 2 chapters next week. And she's like, you have to do it with your own heart, and the way that, like, you have to do it on your own, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, at your own pace and with your own intentions, because if it becomes a chore, then you're not going to be able to study with a clear mind. But I'll let you talk about your Bible so that we can let this mic charge. I'm so sorry for the mic issues, guys.
Did you want to do this mic charging? Okay.
Yeah, I'll let this mic charge, and then I'll let you talk.
Perfect. Okay, so, I mean, I have a lot of Bibles, so we're not going to bring up all the Bibles, but I do have this one right here. No, I've kept this one for a solid 2 months now, and I'm planning on keeping this one for like a long time. So this is like my forever Bible. It took me a while to find something that I really love and something I really wanted to stick with, and that's fine. If you need to jump around from Bible to Bible, do it. But I typically study with Enduring Word. It's a really good commentary that I use online. The MacArthur Study Bible. There are so many good resources online. Heart Dive with Kanoa Gibson. So good. And like, my study method is just kind of all over the place. Like, I do everything from like hand lettering to just writing down notes that like really stick out to me. I've started taking this little approach of like marking out where biblical work ethic is. I know we talked a little bit about our businesses, so I think it's so important for me to mark these pages out and just study truly what it means to like work with Christ in your life and how different things were enacted. So do you want to go in with like your favorite book of the Bible verses?
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I want to add that I never really knew how to study a Bible until she kind of was like, hey, like, let's set up a cute little date and we can look over our Bibles together. And we went to a coffee shop and we had like 20 minutes because they closed in 20 minutes. But Amy pulls out this, and she'll show you later, but she pulls out this bag and slams it on the table. And she's like, don't mind me in my bag. This is just my study bag. And I was like, I've just got my Bible. I was like, okay. But yeah, so more into my Bible. Amy gifted me this Bible for Christmas, and oh my gosh, she's such a blessing. She put such cute notes in here and everything for me. And honestly, like every time I'm at church, she put a little letter at the beginning for me. I taped it here. I read over it, cry a little bit. It's okay. But it's okay. But honestly, I'm gonna be straightforward with you guys. I'm very new to studying my Bible, and it's because of Amy that I've learned to really dive deep into the Word of God, because truly there is a lot we can learn from it. But I have an ESV Bible gifted by Amy, and I was using NIV, and while I love that, I feel like the ESV dives more specifically and more deep. I don't know what it is about that. Maybe I'm missing the mark on that one.
Like a word-to-word translation, that's what it is.
Okay, she said it's a word-to-word translation in case you can't hear her. I'm just going to repeat that. But I don't know. I'm new to it, and I'm loving every part of it. Amy, I feel like, has her plan with how she studies her Bible. For me, I think with this one, this is going to be like my intro into study Bible, study Bible work. So I just kind of highlight whatever sticks out to me. I have no plan with my studying. I will say, she mentioned Heart Dive by Kanoa. That girl has done wonders with me getting introed into studying the Bible. Honestly, she is amazing. You can find her on YouTube. Love her work. She does 365 days of studying the Bible. She does a front to back one. I don't know if she has other options about going about that, but I've sent actually her work to a few of my clients who have booked with me and learned that since I've recently been advertising that I am a faith-based business owner, I've sent a few to them, and they are just so happy that I sent it their way. And they're like, she's the best. Like, thank you so much. But yeah, this is my beautiful Bible, and I'm in love with every part of it. Just so you know, we did link our Bibles into our bio. If you guys are interested, there are multiple different types of cover designs. If you like the exact Bibles we have as well, you're more than welcome to. Amy's, you can't
I will say you cannot find my cover. So it had the ugliest grandma wallpaper, and I replaced it with scrapbook paper. So you cannot find my exact cover, but I did link the one that I covered. Well, before it got covered. There's so many cute covers of it, though, just like the same exact version. So there's definitely something you can find. I feel like, but gifting Bibles is just like this weird little love language with me. There's been so many couples that I've gifted Bibles to. I gifted one couple like a custom Bible of their wedding photos as their covers. So I gifted another couple like a Bible, a journaling Bible, so they could use as their guest book. I love my Bibles, and I have recently done like a weird deep dive into like a ton of different types of Bibles and translations. So, I mean, if you're interested in like a certain type of translation for a certain type of thing, you can feel free to ask that in the comments. Like, I feel like I might be able to answer that in some way or another.
I'm like, I don't know why.
Yeah, but let's talk about your favorite book of the Bible.
Okay, so my favorite book is Acts. However, my favorite verse isn't from Acts. My favorite book of the Bible is Acts, specifically because I feel like it goes a lot into the reality of why we are Christians and why we are doing what we're doing. There's a lot of history on our Christianity that we can, just making sure this is still charged. There's a lot of history we can take apart from Acts to learn about why we are here and why Christianity is so important to us. It really just has a whole lot of history that's important to build your foundation on your faith upon. But my favorite, sorry, I'm struggling to find it. My favorite verse in the Bible is in Romans. Let me get there. Sorry. There we are. So my favorite verse is Romans 5:6-11. Why, you ask? I'll read it for you. Should I read it?
Read it.
Yeah, I'll read it. Okay. It's 5, and we're starting at verse 6. I'll give you guys a few moments if you have your Bibles with you. So this is important to me. The reason I love this verse so much is because it reminds me that no matter what walk I'm going through, God still died for us, and He loves us no matter where we're at in life, and no matter how horrible we are or how broken down we are or how troubled we are. He still loved us when we were at our worst. We put Jesus on a cross, and still he died for us and chose us. And that just rings so deep into my heart, because it just reminds me that it doesn't matter where I'm at in life. I'm forgiven, and I will be forgiven. So verse 5, chapter 6, it says, "For while we were still weak, at the right time Christ died for the ungodly. For one will scarcely die for the righteous person, though perhaps for a good person one would dare even to die. But God shows his love for us in that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Since therefore we have now been justified by his blood, much more shall we be saved by him from the wrath of God. I'm struggling to read. For if while we were enemies, we were reconciled to God by the death of his son, much more now that we are reconciled, shall we be saved by his life." So God gave his one and only son for us to die when we were at our lowest points. And that is just mind-blowing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I couldn't imagine, like, giving up your only child for a mass of people who can be some of the worst sometimes. Like, it's just crazy. And, like, that shows how deeply he loves us.
I love how joyous you are in this.
I know,
like, you just
but
have
I love this verse so
radiance
much.
about you. Just I love it.
But that's just how deep his love is for us. And how can someone question that?
Mm-hmm.
When this man sent his only son, the only child we're all children of God, but his true child for us.
Crazy.
Anyways, I'll let Amy go.
No, I mean, I have just such a love for the book of Matthew, and I just think it was like the first book that I really studied and dove deep into. So it just holds this special place in my heart. It's okay, this is charged.
Okay, good.
It just holds this special place in my heart where it's just like, this is my deep dive book, and this is like, I've saturated a relationship with Jesus through this book so much more than I ever had before. I don't think I have a favorite Bible verse, but I do have like a favorite section. It's when Jesus is talking to the Gentile woman, and he's out in a territory that's kind of towards the Canaanites, Israel's enemy.
I would have struggled to say that.
And there comes a point where even she says, "Yes, Lord, yet even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall off the master's table." So Jesus is saying the word dog to her as if this is this derogatory term, and he means it in the most affectionate way that he can. He has this passion for the Gentiles, which his passion for like the world, people he wasn't supposed to have a passion for, because the original gospel was intended to go first to the Israelites and then to the Gentiles. And he has this passion for this woman, and she took no offense to the fact that she was called a dog. And she stood there and said, "Yes, I am a dog. Let me eat the crumbs. Like, let me have something that the Israelites aren't willing to take." And she asks for, her daughter at the time to be saved. She's like, she has this faith, and she believes that her faith is great enough. And I think that's such a great story. She accepts her lowly position of who she knows that like she is. She says, "I'm not worthy of even being called to a place like this, and yet you're still showing me your mercy, and I have this great faith." And I don't know, I just tear up when I think of that. I'm so sorry.
Like wanting to be like loved by someone so great.
Yeah.
To call yourself that in order to be loved, and like
don't look at me,
no matter how much you are, like no matter what. It's just wow. I mean, there's just so much to learn from in the Bible, but I'm just so glad that like I feel like with this and with my faith, like I have a place in the world. I have a purpose. I have a purpose. But yeah, wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. It's
we probably skip to the next topic before we start.
Yeah, we're gonna cry. All right.
I'm like sniffling already. I haven't like poured tears yet, but
I'm
good. Sniffling.
You're good.
So, let's just talk a little bit about our Bible tools. What do you use? Your favorite pens, your favorite markers?
Okay, you go first, because this girl has a whole.
I didn't bring my whole stash with me today, but I do have.
I was gonna say she has a whole loadout.
Little
guys.
pen here. This is a like lettering pen, and then I do have like a actual.
What's the brand?
It is Tombow Fudanowski, I think. I think so. I think that's how you pronounce it.
We'll link all of this. We have a little Amazon thing that says Allie's and Amy's favorites from Amazon.
And then
we have all that stuff there.
When it comes to like pens for writing, I found that the microns are the best. Even like in regular Bible pages, if you don't have a journaling Bible, these things, I can't pull it out right now with one hand, but these things will like write on any page and they won't bleed through. Here, they look like this. They will like shadow a little bit on the pages.
And I'll put a little attachment of pictures of these things above as well.
They are so good. And then mild liners, very good highlighters, usually don't bleed through. Sometimes they do if they're the darker ones. Mr. Pen, they specifically make Bible products, so they're always a good resource for anything. Mm-hmm. And then I have these. They're Crayola Super Tips. So cheap. And the lighter colors don't really bleed through if you have a journaling Bible. $10. A box of them, I got it for like $2.
Oh, ooh, the sun's shining in here now. Ooh.
Yeah, we were talking about Bible tools, markers, pens. So yeah, I split that pack with my daughter. So yeah, they're not too expensive. Not too shabby.
Not too shabby.
Yeah.
Not too
Definitely
shabby.
Go for the more pastel colors though.
Listen, her Bible is the cutest thing ever. Like, I
find it to be a huge mess. Like, but I'm okay being messy in my Bible. I feel like it's just such a learning process. It's so good to be messy.
Amy had to teach me that because you should have seen me, guys, with my first Bible. I was like taking loose papers and like taping them to cover up all this writing. And I think that's the biggest reason she got me my own Bible with no writing in the margins. But she's like, girl, it's not that serious. She's like, just write whatever you want on that thing. Write whatever you want. That is your study. That is the release of your brain. I don't know why I just said that.
Yeah, you go in with your favorite tools. I mean, I use sticky notes outside of that, and that's pretty much it. Like, nothing fancy.
This is what Amy's bag looks like that she did not bring.
Yeah.
Can you blame her for not bringing this? This thing is beautiful. This was also part of my Christmas gift from Amy. She's the cutest. But a lot of our items are similar because, as I've stated a few times, Amy has gotten me into studying my Bible more deeply. And so I also really like the microns. The reason I like them so much is because I was using, and again, we'll put them up here, but I was using my Pilot G2s, the .38s. These things are literally my go-to pen at work to the point that, like, I will chase people down. Okay. We're here. We're having fun.
My saggy butt is probably seen walking back.
We won't judge. We
we'll do judge. It. I judge myself. Too much, probably.
Girl, me too. We'll talk about that, and we'll probably bring that up in a topic. Anywho, I use the Pilot G2 .38s. If anyone at work takes them, all my coworkers will vouch for me. I will literally chase them down and be like, where's my pen? I was using these and then highlighting over them, and it was just bleeding the pen through. So I like the microns because you can highlight over them without any bleeding. And that's something Amy told me. I also use the Mr. Pen highlighters, the Bible ones, but sometimes I use my little gel highlighters. I like them a lot, but they have some transfer, but I really like them because it's so smooth and just everything about it I love. And, sorry, I think I just burped, but you can scrape it off if you highlight something wrong. And then, I don't know if Amy went into it, but we use clear sticky notes.
Yes.
We're going to do a little ASMR.
So good. You can get them at Walmart for like $1 something, just in case you're wondering. And those Walmart ones are actually the only ones that I've found that will take any pen, any marker, anything, and will actually dry. Mm-hmm. If you go for the ones on Amazon and stuff, they will smudge if you go in with anything except for that pen that comes with it.
Yeah, I love my clear things. And the reason I love them is because you can see the word under them.
And it's so cute.
Yes, it is super cute, but I will give you a warning. Don't put them at the edge of your Bible page and peel them off because it will rip the page. So put it in the middle. You can see through. So just put them in the middle of your Bible to keep yourself from ripping your pages. But honestly, a ripped page brings character. So sorry, that was kind of.
You want your Bible to be lived in. You want to live in the Word, and that's a good thing.
Yes, for sure. I don't know if Amy also mentioned she uses. I don't know if you. Oh my gosh, I'm struggling here, guys.
You okay?
You can mention that.
Yes, glue sticks. So you take them along the edge of a page like this. I'm going to just show you, just like so. And then you just stick that like right in your Bible and close it. And it will create an extra page in your Bible for extra notes. I mean, I have some in my Bible. I mean, They kind of stick out sometimes. So here's some study notes in Job. It's just flopping there, but that's an extra page that I added in, you know?
Cute.
So
Very
nice
cute.
to have extra room for extra notes.
She likes using those. I get glue tape. I will say this stuff is so sticky that it's hard to get it in between the pages. So if you're looking to add an extra page, go her route. For this, I like using this to stick things on that I don't want leaving my Bible or slipping out. It's double-sided glue tape, so you just put it on the back of the page and stick it in the margin. I love this stuff so much. But yeah, that's pretty much mostly what I have with me. And then just some cute little like bookmarks that have like
Right.
verses
I mean,
on them.
we've talked Bible bags. We've talked Bible supplies. Let's talk camera bags,
Woo-hoo!
camera supplies.
Let's talk it. Let's talk all about it. We did get in a little bit into like our lenses earlier, but I'll go first just because mine's going to be easier. Amy's got a whole mammoth of a box here. She's an organized queen though, so there's
I am not. This looks like a mess inside. So I just got this and I'm waiting for a few more of this stuff to arrive.
which she'll
So
go
it is a
over.
little messy.
But once she's done, that thing's going to be organized, and so I can't
Hopefully.
really blame her. I can't blame her. All right, so we're going to go into my Bible bag. This thing is 3 years old.
You mean your camera bag? You said Bible bag. I'm so sorry.
My camera bag. We're going to go into my camera bag here. This thing is old. It's got pen from when I was bored. I've drawn on it. We've got ripped pockets on the sides. I don't really put anything on that. But this bag is linked. It's lasted 3 years. This thing is durable. The only reason there are holes is because my rabbits chewed them. So, yes, I've linked this. I've linked Amy's original thing that she'll go over later. Let's go through this Bible bag. Oh my gosh, this camera bag. Okay, so first up is my camera strap. This is my go-to. I tried using the leather straps. I just can't do it. I'm too clumsy. I bang my camera into everything, and I've just decided it's not for me. It's not for everyone. A lot of photographers will use a leather harness to hold their cameras with them. I just can't do it. I can't do it. So I have my Bible strap. My camera strap. I'm going to cry. Okay, I have my camera strap.
It's getting late into the day. Allie needs a snack.
I need a nap. Let's be
That
honest. A nap. Next is my beautiful camera. This is the Canon EOS 6D Mark II. This is my upgrade from my original camera, which I'll show you in a moment. But this is my current camera that I'm using for all my weddings, all my couple sessions, all my photography sessions. This thing is a mammoth, though. It is a heavy camera compared to the R6, which Amy will go over. But I do love this for someone who's looking to start out, and I'll go into my other camera. This was my first, I just dropped the battery. This was my first ever camera. I had an EOS Rebel T6. I know for my seasoned photographers who are watching us, this is making you cringe back to your old days. This is my beautiful baby. This is the first DSLR I've gotten. I
started on a Rebel too. We all started there.
She got me through a lot. If you're looking to start out and that's what you're watching us with, just know this is going to be very useful for people who are starting out. It's super user friendly. And I just had no complaints about it as someone starting out in photography. But yes, then I upgraded to the 6D Mark II. I like that it has the screen up top so you can kind of gauge your lighting without having to look at the screen or anything. It's more durable, I will say, and this shutter has a really loud shutter on your Rebel T6s, your T5s, your T3s, your T7s. They have a loud shutter, and for weddings, that can be a little embarrassing just because I get secondhand embarrassment so easy. I'm always like, don't look at me, I'm taking a quick picture, and then I run away. But since I've gotten the 6D Mark II, the shutter's quieter. I just love this thing. It's all around amazing. If you're also just looking to start out with a better quality camera, I suggest the 6D Mark II. It's a great place to start. It takes beautiful portraits. However, I will say your camera body is not as important as your glass. Repeat it with me, people. The glass is what makes the beautiful photos.
I'm not repeating that.
I know. I'm saying more so for people starting out. So I have my 50 millimeter here. This is the only lens I have. I rent my other lenses, but I love this lens. This is my diehard baby.
She's still deciding on her other lens. We've talked like a few conversations about what she wants next. So
I'm still indecisive. Is your thing dead?
No, it's on.
Oh, bless. So this is my 50 mil. It's super tiny, but it is a powerhouse as far as beginner lenses go. I always suggest a 50 millimeter to start out for any of my friends who have reached out to me that are also into photography. But that's enough about my 50 mil.
I mean, if you go to her website, there's some amazing photos on there, and most likely a lot of them that you're seeing
90% of them
are like 50 millimeters.
90%. Any family sessions are always done on my 50. And then a lens that I rent is an 85 millimeter. I do the f1.4. What that means is that your f-stop gets to 1.4, so that means that the bokeh, which is the blurriness for people who are just beginning, is more blurry in the background and your subject is more prominent. And then the wider you go, I think it's the wider you go. Like I said, I'm learning too, guys, as I go. But the higher the number on your f-stop, the less blurry the background is. So I just like anything 1.4. I stick between 1.4 and 2.5. Personally.
Yeah, and that number will be the number that you see where it says F and then slash 1 point or 2 points. So that's what that number she's referring to is.
So yes, it goes as low as 1.4, which means a really blurry background and your subject is really prominent. I am a diehard on that lens. So that is the other lens that I will rent and have on me.
Perfect. I mean, I have my R6 Mark II, which we're actually using to film right now. It's an amazing upgrade. Okay,
she's a beaut.
I got her, I think, about a little over a year ago at this point. She's been with me a little while. Before that, I have the RP, which I actually have here to the side, and this is my little RP. She has been through some weddings with me. She has gone through it, and I was like, I need to upgrade. I'm getting paid as much as my husband makes with his work, and I need to, get some equipment that will
durable,
will protect images, can have dual card slots, all of those things. And then, of course, we have my 85 millimeter lens.
That's the beauty I was talking about, but
gorgeous.
It's for a mirrorless camera, which who knows? Maybe we'll get into
this
that.
This actually has a adapter on here.
Oh, perfect.
So it can go to a non-mirrorless camera as well.
Nice.
And then I have my 35 millimeter, which I actually did not expect to love this much, but it is on my camera right now. It is my go-to lens for most of a wedding day, actually. And I never thought I would be there with the 35 millimeter. I thought I was an 85 millimeter girly only. Like I thought just those beautiful portraits, nothing else. But turns out I really love the 35 millimeter. I just had to give it some time, get used to it. I started using it for detail photos at first, and then it just stuck with me ever since. And then, of course, I have to give a mention to this thing.
I love this thing.
It cracks Allie up. I keep calling
you Addie. Keep calling me Addie. Addie's her kid.
That's my daughter. But yeah, this thing is always really fun to pull out at a wedding. It's just this huge behemoth of a thing on top of my flash. I
have a video of Amy. I was taking a video of a dance floor at one of my couples that
I'm just bouncing along, guys.
And she just hands the screen with this huge ball on the top of her flash. It's one of my favorite videos.
Yeah. Me and my husband and Allie refer to it very fondly as the BOOB. So
yeah,
if you can spell out that word, you know what we're talking about. So,
but yes, I love you with that thing. I definitely just I was not picking my nose. I had an itch. I just went. But yeah, I think back to her 35, I think it's useful, by the way, if you're a primary photographer or a lead photographer and you're watching us, your secondaries, I think it's very beneficial to make sure that they're also having either a 24-70, which is a very good lens because it has a variety of range from
you can be a prime lens person or you can be a zoom lens person. So a 24-70 is great if you want just an all-around option that takes care of everything in one lens. I personally like carrying two cameras, so I usually have a 35 and I have an 85 on, and that covers most of everything I need for the wedding day. I haven't found any difficulty between there. I have tried my 50 and my 85, but I found that I need just a little bit more room in some places.
Especially
so that 35
if you have,
is great.
There's nothing wrong with barn venues or anything like that, but those venues tend to have crammed spaces of getting ready. It's important to make sure that you have a wider lens, a lens that can take wide shots of a room because you are crammed in there. You've got brides and you've got bridesmaids getting ready and everyone's running around and you've got so much room to work with. So I think it's very beneficial to either go with, like she said, a zoom lens, which is like a ranged lens for beginners. That means like 24-70, or a prime lens for you beginners who are watching us. A prime lens is a lens that has only one focus, which is 85-35.
Yeah, so
50.
it's not a focus exactly.
Sorry,
It's like
yeah.
it's the amount of space that you see on the back of your camera. So 35 will only give you like the 35 millimeter of space, and it kind of depends on which camera you're using. If you're using an older body, it might actually crop it a little bit smaller. So it's the crop of your camera. There you go. That's the word.
The Rebels will
The
crop
Rebels
them.
will crop them.
Yeah.
So if you have a mirrorless camera or something a little more upgraded, you
Mhm.
will find that 35 will look really nice. If you have something that's already not as upgraded, so that 35 will look more like a 50-ish
Yeah.
on your camera.
Mhm.
So you got to keep that in mind when you're picking out
It's
your
very
photo
important.
lenses.
Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of a little bit of our camera bags and what we've got going on. I didn't show my flash, because I genuinely don't know where it is right now. I think I'm gonna have to buy a new one, and that would be my third one in the last 5 months. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I know we mentioned favorite photos, but why don't we do like favorite galleries? We can link those below so you guys can take a view at them.
Yes.
I'm sure you have a favorite photo, so you can just, that whole gallery, I'm sure it looks amazing.
Yes. Oh, by the way, what's your favorite lens? You never want to. Oh, the 35. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry.
It's okay.
bedtime.
I might be the blonde in hair. She's the blonde in mind.
Highlights today. We'll see. We'll see how far I get with these. Okay. Do you want to go first? Because I feel like I've been going first for a lot.
Okay, yeah. So I do have a favorite gallery. It's actually, there's two reasons why this gallery is my favorite. The couple themselves were just an impact on my lives. They're so sweet. To this day, I mean, we're having a Galentine's with the bride from this couple, Lakin. She's absolutely so sweet.
She's the sweetest little thing ever.
She is a sweetheart. And this couple, I think their gallery was just one of my favorites because I think that was one of the first time that I went in with all of my approaches. This is why I say faith is so important to me, because my faith-based approaches that I took that day just truly made such an impact on that gallery. And it was the first gallery that I like looked at and I was like, wow, I actually like this wedding day. And it was just, they're the sweetest couple ever. They have faith-based family around them. They're a faith-based couple, and just being able to approach their day with like a prayer, with intentionality, and it was just so beautiful. I mean, I can't say that I particularly would display like their photos as my prominent photos. I think I have a few of them up on my site, but I think just the heart behind that day, and their gallery is gorgeous, and they're just amazing people.
And that's what I feel like, that's what makes some of the galleries so much more beautiful. Like I could genuinely be so disappointed with my work, but just knowing the love behind the photos in some of my galleries.
Check if Josh texted me.
No, you're fine. Take your time. You're good. I think that some of the like beauty behind the actual pictures themselves is knowing what went into that day and how the day played out.
Yeah.
And I feel like that really sets the bar for like a good gallery, is knowing how beautiful the day meant to
and
the
this
couple.
Is the couple where I printed their photos onto a Bible for them. So,
but yeah, we'll link it below. Cute. I love them so much. Those two are so sweet. I met them at her Friendsgiving, and they are just the cutest little things ever. I love them. They're so cute. They're so sweet together. They're perfect. Anyways,
Lakin, don't watch this. We're just gushing over you.
Lakin, we love you. But
we can't wait to see you.
Literally, I'm counting down. Like, what, 20 days till I get to see you? Too long. I'll go into kind of my favorite gallery unless you wanted to add more.
Go for it.
Okay, my favorite gallery, I feel like this gallery just kind of set the tone for me wanting to get into weddings. It was a couple, I had them in June 1st. They were the sweetest couple I've ever met. And I've met some really sweet couples, but these two just like fed off of each other's joy for being around each other, and it really set the tone for the photos. I mean, I had them running in a field, and they just had so much fun. The full day was just so intentional, and it's my couples. Their name are Marissa and Nevin. I had their wedding, and oh my goodness, when I tell you guys, everything was just so intentional, and every little detail. This bride had receipts from her first ever date with her friend. like her maid of honor, and she had it in a scrapbook. Their
That's
first
so
ever
cute.
time out. Like, she saved a receipt. Like, she was so intentional about every little detail. And I got married in October, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I wish I was like this. I don't have this for my people. But that's probably one of my favorite galleries, just because I had so much fun. It was my first time using the 85 millimeter. I was so nervous about that because I knew it was heavy, and I was like, these are going to turn out so shaky. And oh my gosh, it was just such a beautiful gallery.
Just stop there because I guess the battery died on us.
Yeah, lame.
We were
Maybe
talking
it's
about
not
your
a good
couple.
camera. Maybe
Your
mine's
couple
better.
and them approaching with.
I promise we love each other. No, but this couple.
It's because we kept messing up and we had to restart because of you.
You right. She right.
We're not actually this mean. I just have this tone about me that I feel like people always, they think I'm either depressed or I'm mean.
She
it's
has
so bad.
an RBF.
Allie thought I was mean before she approached me.
I was so scared to message her, going back on that, like, that conversation we had. I was so scared to message her just because I was like, I don't know that she's going to be nice, because I'd messaged so many people, and then
You got so used to rejection that you almost projected it on me. Like, she's going to reject me.
Yeah,
I do
just
not
assumed
reject
it.
her.
Immediately, she's like, let me send you all the links. Let me send you all the stuff I use. She's the sweetest thing ever. I literally appreciate her. Also, like, the first time we, like, actually met. And
Just held up the mic like they could hear my little sad face.
She's like, but I think the first time we actually, like, hung out was that we did a session for my wedding. Was that the first time we, like, genuinely hung out? Or
No, it was your engagement party. That was the first time I think I met you in person.
Yes, she did my bridal shower.
There you go.
These pictures are gorgeous, by the way.
They're not that great.
And she's like, I hate them. I'm so sorry. And I was like, Amy, what? Like, they're great.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm just a happy person.
We got so comfortable so fast that, I mean, do you want to tell them what other photos we did?
Yes. So she did boudoir photos for me for my husband. And
that was like the third time we ever saw each other in person, and all of a sudden she's just putting on a bra in front of me, and
I'm like,
we did this whole little album for her husband, and it was just
it was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
That's one way to say it.
That's so weird. Why would I say it like that? But no, it's just like, that's how comfortable I was in front of her right off the bat, and we connected that quickly. So anyways, back onto, I'm sorry,
Yes.
We definitely got on a tangent there. To make a long story short, this couple meant a lot to me. It was my first ever big wedding. They had a large group, and like, it was such a big shift from me, because I was going from weddings with like 80 people max to this wedding of like almost 200 people, and it was just such a like positive shift for me.
Mhm.
And after doing that and seeing how beautiful the photos turned out, I had I had a bigger confidence in myself. So that's my favorite. That's my favorite portfolio.
I love it. I love it so much.
Yes, me too.
Okay, perfect. I mean, we're going to close off here.
Yeah,
I think.
this is getting a little long.
Yeah, this is like our fourth video in here at this point. So yeah, we're going to close off here. We're just going to talk a little bit about the upcoming topics that we have. We have quite a few ideas, and I think our second podcast, we might have a little guest.
Yes. No,
So
that's our third
excited.
one. Our third
Oh, is that
podcast.
our third one?
Yes,
okay,
our
we're going to
third
have
podcast.
a guest at some point.
I'm so excited for that.
We both really love this guest.
Yes, that's why we're like, okay, maybe it might be the next one. We'll keep you posted. Follow us on socials.
Yeah, so we're just going to do a little dive on like some of our topics that were upcoming.
I need to stop winking at them. They're going to think I'm a creep. I'm like...
So yeah, I mean, we obviously mentioned like biblical work ethic, some vendors, some tips if you're planning your own wedding, some tips if you're a wedding vendor, some tips on how we incorporate Christianity within our business, just little things like that. So I mean, Allie, if you want to take it away with some of the...
Yeah, we're even going to do some like random yap sessions where it's just her and I on a couch, no topic. We're just going to have fun and talk.
Those are going to go on for hours.
Yeah, once we finally get comfortable in front of the camera, I feel like this went really well though.
Yeah, for our first time on camera.
You can make fun of us in the comments if you want. Humble us a little bit.
My husband will make fun of us while I'm editing.
Mine too. You can humble us a little bit if you want. But yeah, I feel like this went pretty good. Anywho, so next topic. Are we ready to discuss, or do we want to kind of...
Do you want to just give them a little teaser?
I'll give you a teaser. So do we tell them the title?
Yeah, why don't we just leave it at the title?
Our title is called Blessing and Bloopers.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's so cute.
You guys have no clue what's about to come. It's going to be fun. It's going to be more of a relaxed session. I feel like we said that today was going to be relaxed, and then we kind of just like got into it. But it's going to be super relaxed. We're just going to talk about our season last year.
Mhm.
Blessings and bloopers of it. And then it's kind of the same, like, criteria, if that makes sense. And then, yeah. Now, I do want to go over with you guys, like, the reality of us posting, as well as, like, maintaining good Sabbath and, running our businesses in a way not to overwhelm ourselves. We do photography. She does it full-time. I do it part-time with a full-time job. So, unfortunately, the reality of that, editing photos, editing a podcast, and
I'm
all of
so
that.
behind on editing. I feel like every time I start a gallery, I just keep getting thrown more work. So
Immediately after this, I will be editing a full gallery that was supposed to be
Me
due
too.
today.
I have a full gallery that was supposed to be due like 2 days ago.
I believe in you.
Sorry.
You love
Sorry
them.
to this couple. I'm
love
so
them.
sorry. I've been trying.
Let them know
promise.
you love them.
I love you.
Yes. But seriously, it's important for you guys to know that, like, this is something that's exciting for us. It's new. So maybe if it hits off or if it kicks off, if it kicks off, maybe we'll be able to have the reality of posting more often. But just with me working 2 jobs and Amy working a full-time job, full blown, with her photography, she does a wonderful job and she has wonderful supporters who have given her the blessing of being a full-time photographer. As well as having kids, which in itself is a full job. So she has 2 jobs
My
as well.
kids are rambunctious.
They're cute. They're so
If you ever see like one photo in your gallery that's just randomly edited, like with the worst edit ever, my kid probably hit the screen. I'm telling you right now.
Those kids pull at that computer like crazy. But yeah, we just want to set out the reality that we'll try to post podcasts as much as we can.
I think our plan right now is once a month.
Yeah, once a month. If we're lucky, we'll post like a random Q&A podcast quick, or we'll do like a quick yap session, which is like a 10-minute podcast. It's nothing too crazy. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us in this. It really is wonderful to have you guys here with us. I do want you guys to know that it means a lot to have your support. We haven't even posted anything. I think we're at like 114 followers. Crazy on Facebook.
Yeah.
But if you're seeing this on Facebook, please subscribe to our channel. That's where you'll see most of the like actual videos. We really are only going to be posting updates and small snippets of our videos on Facebook. So this is where you're going to get the big deets from our videos. I'm so sorry.
Obviously, if you don't follow Allie, go follow Allie.
And if you don't follow Amy, go follow Amy at Amy Madisubak. She is the cutest. The cutest, patootiest. I call her Pookie. She won't let me let you know, but she'll probably cut this.
She does not call me Pookie.
I wish I called her Pookie. Anyways, but yeah, so just know that we'll do our best to get these videos out. If it hits off, maybe we'll be able to do it more often. But this is just a fun thing for 2 girls who love photography, love Jesus, and love each other as friends.
Yeah, I think we like almost cried several times during this. So
yeah, it's gonna be good.
It's either gonna be an emotional wreck for half of these, or like just silliness, and you'll never know which when you tune in.
We're just in a silly, goofy mood.
Yeah.
Like, what can we say?
It's a silly, goofy mood.
Amy's like, yeah, sure. But with that, I can do the closing prayer unless you want to.
Go for it. I did the opening prayer before we started this, so it's her turn.
Please do not judge me with this prayer. Hey guys.
Our camera cut off.
Yes.
We finally hit the last little round and the camera overheated. I mean, it was a lot of footage. We went through so much.
Seriously. Just so you know, we prayed for clarity in the new business year. We prayed for a sense of protection for each other. Also just a sense that we can bring our couples closer to the Lord. What else did you say in your prayer?
Just truly that this is about Jesus.
It really is.
Matter the outcome of this podcast, whether it takes off or not, then it just turns out for God. Yeah. And this is just a gentle reminder, guys, that you can fulfill your purpose with what the Lord has brought to you. That's what this whole podcast really is about. It's about His purpose for you and in your business as well. So with that, we're signing out. But we'll let you guys go. Bye.